Hello everyone, it's Stephanie, your CSA coach, and it is week 10 of our CSA shares. It's a B week. So for those of you on every other week, if you're a B week, you'll be picking up this week. So we have a wide variety of produce, lots of different colors. So it was fun pick up today because we kind of got a rainbow assortment of produce from the CSA. One quick announcement, if you have been receiving the emails, go back to your emails and make sure you printed out your bingo card. So bingo is going on this month. There's lots of fun stuff to do on this and you can mark them off as you get them done. So go through and read each one, see which ones you've already done. If you've already done it, cross it off. If you're watching this video, you've got your center square. So it says watch a share unboxing video once on Tuesdays. So if you watch me live, cross it off. If you watch me later, cross it off. That's one box that you have done. Just keep track of that, and Trisha will post when we're supposed to turn these in for potential prizes. But there's lots of easy ones, there's fun ones. You can bring a friend to the farm, you can make pesto, you can flash freeze peppers or tomatoes, which we received both of them this week. So make sure you're taking a look at that before the end of the week so that you know which things you've done and which things you still have to do. All right, so jumping right into the produce that we received this week, we have our summer squash. So summer squash gets stored in the fridge, in the crisper drawer, or in a plastic bag. Can be eaten raw or it can be cooked. I love summer squash grilled. It's also really good if you spiralize it and use it more like a noodle, which can be cooked and also can be more like a salad. So you can dress it just with like an oil and vinegar or oil and lemon juice and make it more fresh. There are a bunch of recipes on the blog involving summer squash. And I believe over the next few weeks, I've got a couple of recipes that I'll be working on this week. One of those will also involve our summer squash. If you still have summer squash left over from previous weeks, take a few minutes, shred it, and throw it in the freezer. I usually like to shred it, measure it, and then mark on my plastic bag that I freeze it in how much is in that bag. And then it's really good for our winter months to make baked goods, or just later in the season when we no longer have summer squash. Really good in stir fries. There's a lot of produce this week that will work well in stir fries. So summer squash is one of them. We received peppers. So the first of the peppers this season, we have Cubanelle pepper, which is our long, lighter green ones, and green bell pepper. Both get stored in the fridge in the crisper drawer or in a plastic bag. These are great raw, or they're great grilled, or they're great roasted. Really good in stir fries, good in salsas. So we have a lot of salsa ingredients this week. You could do like a sheet pan fajita, which would be our peppers along with the onions, maybe some chicken, and it's super easy to make. You can flash freeze these and mark off the box on your bingo card as well. So those are our peppers stored in the fridge, in the crisper drawer, or in a plastic bag. We received garlic. Our garlic is now cured, so we can feel the outside and it's got the papery coverings. So this can be stored in a cool, dry place. Garlic I use in everything. So you can use it in salad dressings, you can use it in stir fries, you can use it when you roast your vegetables, you can use it when you grill stuff, you can use it in sauces, in salsas, in different dips. So I love garlic for just about everything. Cool, dry place for this one because it's now cured. We have new potatoes again. So our new potatoes are stored in the fridge. I like to just throw them in a bowl just like this and store them like this. You can store them in a plastic bag. I mean a paper bag, they store really well. Lots of recipes on the blog for our potatoes. So you could make homemade potato chips. You could do our grill packets on the grill, potato salad. You can do, we just did the, it was a potato and I just posted the recipe, potato and summer squash baked recipe. So you do have to use the oven for that one. but that was really good. And then we just made a double batch of it, and then I used up all my potatoes from last week and some of my summer squash as well. So that was just posted yesterday on the Facebook group. These get stored in the fridge because they're new, they're uncured, they're not gonna last in a cool, dry place. So we wanna use them a little bit quicker than our cured potatoes that we'll get later in the season. So those are our new potatoes. We also have red onion and a sweet onion, also uncured. So when they're uncured, we need to store them in the fridge. So sweet onions obviously have a different flavor than our yellow onions. Red onions, slightly different flavor. Also, both really good for salsas, both really good grilled, both really good in stir fries. I kind of like to interchange them on and off. I know they have a different flavor, but it's just fun to kind of switch up recipes that I would normally use a red onion for and throw in a sweet onion. There's an onion dip on the blog. A couple of the recipes over the next coming weeks will involve onions, so stay tuned for those. Slicing them really thin and putting them on top of salad. It's burger season, so if you're making burgers, I love to slice the red onion really, really thin and throw that on top of a burger. So stored in the fridge. Okay, we also have cucumbers. We've been getting those for a while. Stored in the fridge, either in the crisper drawer or in a plastic bag. Cucumbers, we love serving raw. So most of the time I will just slice them up and leave them on the table before dinner, and the kids will munch on them. We do throw them into salads. There's a cucumber salsa, I believe it's called, on the blog. There's cucumber salad. There's quick fridge pickles on the blog. So lots of ideas. If you're just getting bored of the plain old cucumber, then look at that and Google cucumbers, but stored in the fridge. We received more tomatoes. So we have heirloom tomatoes and our reds, both stored on the counter. We don't really want to store these in the fridge because it changes the texture, and we like the fresh, the freshness, the farm freshness that we get. Our heirlooms aren't going to last as long as our reds typically. Slice these up and serve them in a caprese salad. Slice them up and do like a tomato sandwich. You could do BLTs. There's a bruschetta recipe on the blog that's fantastic. You can roast them. You can cook them down and make a sauce. You can flash freeze them. You can, what else for tomatoes? We did a caprese salad last night with our leftover tomatoes from last week, so that used up our leftover tomatoes. We love using them just on sandwiches, on burgers, just sliced up. So these get stored on the counter. Once you slice them, so like this one's really big, if I slice it and don't use it all, then I want to put it in the fridge. But I typically want to use that within a day or two max once it's in the fridge. We received tomatillos. So our tomatillos have a papery covering on them. Leave that papery covering on them. They're kind of in like a tomato. So we're going to store them just like we would a tomato. We're storing them on the counter. Unless you really want them in the fridge, then you can throw them in the fridge in a plastic bag. You can put them in a Debbie Meyer green bag or another, like a Ziploc bag, throw them in the fridge. Keep the papery coverings on them until you're ready to use them. You can eat these raw, but typically they are either grilled or roasted. Tomatillo sauces, green sauces, lots of things. There's, I believe, dressings or salsas on the blog. So you can type in tomatillo and you'll get some recipes on the blog for these guys. But I love grilling them. So I love leaving them in the papery covering until I'm ready to use them. And then, especially if we're doing like a grilled protein for dinner, we will take these and grill them up, and then I'll either rough chop them up to create more of like a tomatillo pico de gallo, or I will blend them once they're grilled and put some, like I'll usually grill these with some onions and some garlic, and then blend it all together to create a green sauce for my protein. So that's an option as well. We received eggplant. So our eggplant gets stored in the fridge, and you really want to wrap them in a towel just to keep the moisture away from them. If the moisture hits them, they're gonna go bad quicker. So we want to keep them drier. So you can wrap them in a paper towel or a cloth towel and throw them in the crisper drawer or throw them on a shelf in your refrigerator. Eggplant is really good grilled. It's really good fried. I loved, last year we did a lot of air frying with the eggplant, and I would make eggplant parm. So I typically slice them into rounds, dip them in egg, dip them in a gluten-free breadcrumb mixture, air fry them, and then I'll freeze them in layers in a Ziploc bag, and then I'll pull them out when I want to make eggplant parm. Nice and easy, and half of the recipe is basically already done because I did the frying part of it already. There's an eggplant dip on the blog, so you can look at that recipe. But grilling, you can just grill slices. You can peel it, you can leave the peel on, totally up to you. Last but not least, we got cilantro. So I did say there were a lot of good ingredients for salsas. Cilantro, we want to take and we want to put it in a glass of water in the fridge. This we can freeze. It freezes really well, so I like to freeze it in between paper towels in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, like flat. And then I'll pull out what I need if I'm not going to use this. So I'll probably make a big batch of salsa this week with this and the tomatoes, and then preserve that, either freeze it or kind of preserve it just so we can use it throughout the season. But cilantro is really good in salsas and Mexican dishes. You can even flavor things like rice. So make a big batch of rice and do like a cilantro lime rice, which is a great side for a Mexican dinner or lunch. But cilantro is really good for any Mexican inspired dishes and salsas. And we could do it with the tomatillos as well. And you can combine like tomatillos, tomatoes, cilantro, and do all different kinds of salsas. So your goal right now is to take a look at what you have in your fridge or on your counters left from previous weeks. Try to use that stuff up or make a plan for what you're going to do with that. If you're not going to use it, then give to a neighbor or a friend, or figure out how you're going to preserve it, and then focus on this week's ingredients. Make a plan of what you're going to use each item for, print out recipes or bookmark recipes that you're going to use throughout the week. If you have any problems or questions or things that you're struggling with using, let us know. Tag me on the Facebook group and I'll help and guide you. And I will see you guys all next week. Thanks.